Okay, once again, another part two of what we started yesterday, at least about the NTP server and the Syslog, what I said yesterday. We did a part one of it. We are now coming to continue on the rest of what we did yesterday. At least I told you guys that if you go and configure what the OSPF, and now you can ping from NTP server straight to SSH clients on your right side. Let me configure mine, then the rest of the configuration will continue with that. Okay. Welcome you once again. Now, on the screen, like what I said yesterday, we've configured everything. Is that not it? We did, but remaining only the OSPF that we have to what? Configure. So let's see whether the NTP over here can ping the SSH client on our left side, or the NTP, neither NTP or the Syslog can ping 209.40.50.1. And then some of you said, though everything can ping, but that particular one was not responding. It said destination unreachable. How many of you have yours like that? Did you try to ping 209? Ping right now, let me see. Okay, so I'm going to start from BF R1. I'm going to configure the OSPF on BF R1. Okay, so now we have to configure the OSPF. So router OSPF. I don't know the anonymous number that you choose. You choose 10. Okay, so you can choose more than, because when you press on shift and the question tag, you can see it's what 1265535. So any one that you can choose. So let me go by yours. Let me choose 20. Let me enter. Then router ID 1.1.1.1. I hope none of you configure the router ID. I know. Then the network. How many of you did? The router ID. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4. Okay. So we have to configure the IP address of what? The LAN, which is our left side, the network. So 192.168.10.0, 255.255.255.0. Then the area, you have to use area what? 0. Okay. Network, now we are going to use the IP address of the yellow side. The yellow side, we have 10.20.30.0. Okay, so that is what we are going to use. So 10.20.30.0, 255.255.255.252, then area 0. You are done with BFR1. So I have to go to BFR2, which is the top one. This R2 is going to bear at least 3 solid word network IP word address. Okay, so now let me just go straight and start configuring it. Go to terminal, click on it. Okay, the password. AN. Config. Then we type the router. OSPF minus 20, router ID 2.2.2.2, network. We have to choose the same IP address between router 1 and router 2. So it's going to be 10.20.30.0.255.255.255.252, then area 0. So adjacency has happened, which means that the communication is going on. Let's do the network, another network, which is going to be 209.40.50.50.0, 255.255.255.0, area 0. And then another network, the network IP address between the 10.20.40, so 10.20.40.0, 255.255, sorry, .255.252. So area, we choose area what 0. We are done with the router 2 because we have one network, two network, so 1, 2, and 3. So we are done. Let's go straight to router 4, BFR3. Okay, so the same configuration that we did, the same thing we are also trying our best to do. OSPF 20, router ID 3.3.3.3. Then the network is going to be between this one and this one. So let's go straight with what? 10.20.40. So the network is 10.20.40.0, 255.255.255.252. Then area 0. New adjacency has happened. So network, we are going to deal with this one also. So 192.168.5.0, 255.255.255.0, then the area is going to be 0. Fine. We are set and done. We finish with our configuration. So at least make sure that what you save whatever that you have done. It's now time for us. The main topic, now we are about to configure it. All what we just did is a preliminary one that we're supposed to do to welcome the Syslog and what? The NTP, the Network Time Protocol, and the system login messages, okay? So at least let's see whether we can stand on the SSH client and ping the servers over here, or ping this particular one, this IP. So let's try our best and see. So let's ping the server first, which is 192.168.10.201. When it keeps long like this, it means that the switches and the routers are now preparing the routing table for the packet ICMP to travel from one end to what? Another. Okay, so far as we can ping the NTP server, definitely we can also ping what? The Syslog. So let's see .2, the Syslog also can be pinged. Yes, that one also respond. As much as this BFSSH client can ping up to far end, definitely it can also ping the routers. Are you following it? Yes, it can also ping the routers. Now, it's time for us to configure what we call OSPF MD5 authentication. Now we are about to start the journey. Okay. Teresa said I should ping the ISP, the router. 209.40.50.1. Is that destination host unreachable? The same thing, all of you, eh? The same thing. Okay. So what we will do is that we will configure everything based on framing. Okay. So let us finish. Then we'll configure the framing. But I taught you framing. I taught all of you framing, encapsulation, framing, framing, relay. I taught you. Okay. Let's go on. Now on our BFR1, we are going to create what we call OSPFMD5 authentication so that whenever outsider, a hacker, want to log into your corporate network, that particular hacker must provide a password. It seems I've already taught you this, but I will go over again. Or maybe you might forget some of those things that I've taught you. Let's go on. Now, on router 1, on router 1, on router 1, I'm still inside the OSPF. So let me just, for the sake of those that are placed, so let it be like this. Let it be like this. Then you type router OSPF, then you put your anonymous number, enter, so that you will be inside the OSPF configuration mode. We are going to create message digest. Are you okay? Perfect. Let's start. Now type area 0 because we are on area 0. So let's type area 0 space authentication. Then bring the question tag. You can see we have message digest. So message digest. And the rest of what you type, bring the question tag, you will see that message digests over there, you can enter, but we have to type something that way. So we are preparing our router in such a way that for message, any message that will come, the routers will listen to it, unless only this router, if you fall inside that particular word area, enter. Do the same thing to other routers. So we are going to do it to the router 2. So let's go to router 2. So you type area, then is what? 0. Authentication, then the message digest. You enter. And you go to router 3. You do the same thing. Do the same thing. So router OSPF 20, area 0, authentication, message digest. Now, we have configured our check something. You can see that something is happening. Can you see? Something is happening. You can see that we have OSPF, adjacency process 20 neighbor on serial because I'm on router 3. So the neighbor is 2.2.2.2, which is the top one. So the same thing applies to the other ones also. You can see that the top one have seen what? 3, 3.3.3, which means that fully loading is done. The configuration that you have done. So now if somebody is coming from outside and person want to join your area, it will be very difficult because now you've set it. Now remaining the password that we have to put it on the message digest. I should come down small. Okay, then let me go a low pace. Okay, so have you finished with? We are still on our configuration of message digest. We have prepared our routers. So what we just did right now, configuration of OSPF MD5 authentication on all routers. On all routers. Is that? I said what we just did right now is a configuration of MD5 authentication on routers. Message digest. Okay, so now we have prepared our router to accept messages that we want them to come. But if those messages are coming, there must be a privilege. So that will be the next one that we are going to do. We will be creating MD5 key. We'll be creating MD5 key. The key is going to stand in for our password. Are you following it? It's like you have prepared the server, you have prepared the router, but what shows that the router is protected? Password. I hope you are getting it. So since just enter. Now we are on router. Let's go to router 1. Let's go to router 1. I will just do it big for all of us to see router 1. Now we are going to choose an interface. Don't choose the interface of GIJ 0/0, but we have to choose an interface of what? The serial. So I want you guys to enter inside the serial interface. Okay, so let's come out from the router OSPF. Come out from it like this. Come out. Come out. I'm on router 1, BFR1. Have you come out? Are you out? So now, look, we have prepared a router that accept messages. Any messages that comes, authentication messages that comes, accept them. But now we have to make sure that the port should listen to the messages. By so doing, if those ports will listen to those messages, there must be a password on the port. So we are going to create a key. I hope you are following what I'm saying. We have to create a key. And the only key is the password. We will put it on the interface. So if outsider comes and that outsider want to join our OSPF and that outsider don't know the key, which is the passphrase password, he can't enter, he can't join. If right now we haven't even configured this MD authentication, we just did the OSPF, we finish, and another person just comes with his router and he had a point that, okay, I've heard that they are using area 0. The person can join. You know that? But there's no authentication on your network. The person can join straight away. And what better is if the person, should in case the person join and the person has already configured his router, the router rather will compromise with your router and it will load everything into your network, which means that his router that he has configured it, if he has already done what we are doing right now, you will just what overtake your network. That is why we are protecting it. So every message that comes, we have to make sure that that message have to be what account for. Are you okay? Perfect. Let's go. So now we are going inside the IP address, the interface. So enter inside your interface. Mine is 0/0/0. It's here. That is mine. I don't know yours, so choose enter inside. Then type IPOSPF. IPOSPF. Then message digest key. Message digest key. When you bring the question tag, you can see that the key is 1 to 255 key ID. So let's choose a key as 1 and space. It said MD5, MD5. The rest is going to be your password, MD5. We chose a key which is 1, then the message digests 1. The rest of the text that you will type, that will be your password. So mine is P at SSW0RD12. That is my password. So remember your password and type. Enter. You know what you have done right now? What you have done, the interface, which is the serial, cannot communicate with the rest. Do you understand? The rest don't have password. You see that now the adjacency said what? Expired. Neighbor down. Dead time. It said interface down or detached. You seen it? He said what? Interface what? Down. Because I've been protected. The rest have not been protected. I have to isolate myself. So this interface that we can find it on router 1 has now detached itself, not touched, now detached. Look at the word, detached itself from the rest. So for the rest to come together, we have to now go inside their interface and do the same thing that we did on router 1. I hope it's clear. Yeah, the same password. If you type different password, it means that the serial password is different from the opponent password. It can't liaise. It cannot communicate. If you go and they ask you what is our authenticated key password, just blow a whistle, 1, and you went and blow 2 whistles. They will tell you to pass here because you are not part. Are you following it? So we are done. That is why they said, well, the interface now down or detached. This interface, this particular interface here, the rest here, I don't know you people. For you to just come into my domain, make sure that you follow my trend. Are you following it? This is a security. We are protecting it. No, we haven't started the Syslog, neither the NTP. We are just preparing the way for them to come. We are just preparing the way for them to come. This is the MD5 authentication security. Yes, yes. Say it. Don't look at Kevin face. I know. All of them will say that, oh, cross you have, we have not been taught. But I know that this topic, this one we are doing, I know Aziz will tell me no, you weren't around when I taught them. Buba, are you around? No. Kevin, Jeff, no. But this is the opportunity. If you are not around, at least this is opportunity for you to grab. Thank you very much, Kelly, for reminding me that I taught you guys. Shall we continue? Okay, let's go to router 2. Let's go to router 2. So router 2 also found out that router 1, that is my neighbor, has detached itself from my what line. You can see interface down. So if you ping it, won't go. Are you following it? If you ping it, won't go. So for you to let it work, now let's go. Let's type exit and enter inside the interface between router 1 and router 2. That is int se 0/1/1. That is mine. Oh, let me check. Okay, 0/1/0. Okay, let me remove the 0 and put 0 there. Thank you very much. You type IP OSPF, so IP OSPF message digest key. We chose what? 1. You remember. Then the MD5. You type the password p at sw0rd. You haven't finished. You have to come out, type exit and come out. So now you can see that it says loading. Hey, Charlie, now I'm with you. So you have the password now. Now let's communicate. You see? So this serial 0/0/0 on router 1 can now communicate with 0/1/0. So you can see that now it says full loading is what? Is down. Done. Now they can communicate. Okay. On router 2, we have to also enter inside this particular interface, which is this one. Let me just check. Okay. How did you do your OSPF? Now INTSE 0/1/1 IP OSPF message key 1 MD5 P at SSW0RD12. So router 2 also will detach itself from router 3. So you have to quickly. But you are doing on the serial. No, maybe they will be going. Let's go. So let's go to router 3. Please do justice to it. I've given you the command already. So you have it on order. Oh, we haven't even started configuring the main topic. This one is a preliminary one. When we finish this one, then we are going to configure the topic now, the NTP. So these are the things that you have to prepare. Prepare yourself towards. I've never seen a footballer that is going to play a bigger match that he has never trained before. Kelly asks, I haven't reached router 3. I'm about to configure the router 3 and you told me that I'm going fast. So I have to come back to router 2 to give you the configuration. So I will show you the configuration of what I did. But can you ping from one end to another? When you configure the OSPF, you saw the adjacency. Then how come that is not showing? Shall we continue? Then what are you guys doing? Long time. You are following what I'm doing, so how come that you get mistake? Okay, let's go to router 3 now. Router 3, we are going to, you can see that when router 2 finish, router 2 serial interface has also detached itself from router 3. So let me just type exit and enter inside an interface of router 3. So I'm entering inside this interface, the serial 0 slash 1 slash 0. Then IP OSPF message digest, the key is 1, MD5, you type the password. Yes. Musa, are you okay? Okay, thank you. You said you haven't finished. Yes. Right. Let's continue. So far, so good. We are done. Now our network is protected. There is no outsider that will enter into our corporate network. If a person tries to enter, you must provide an IP address. You must provide a password before you can join them. You see? Because when we started, you saw that all the routers started detaching themselves from the opponent or router. So now they are all one now. Now it's time for us to start our topic, which is NTP. So this NTP, we are going to tell the server that you should listen to any message that will come. The time, you should listen to it, the message. So on the server, physical server, we have NTP feature that you have to install, like how you install DNS, DHCP, NTP2 day there. Is it part? So you see that is here now. Okay, so let's go to the server. Click on the server. So for us to start configuring our NTP on the router, we must first make sure that the server must have collaboration with the router based on what? Network time protocol. Go to services and you see NTP here. Already NTP is disabled. You see, NTP is disabled. Can you see it? So just click on what? Enable. It's the same as you have installed an NTP on the physical world server. If you click on DNS, you see that the DNS has not been what? Enabled. So you have to go and what? Put it on. Now, can you remember the key? The key is what? 1. So put 1 there, then put the password. If the password that you are typing, they didn't tell it with the router's password, you'll be in trouble. Okay, now we've set everything on the server. Now we have to tell the router that everything has been set on the server for recording of what messages that will pass through your network. So router, accept it now. So let's go to the router. So we are going to router 1. Whatever that we do on router 1, come out from the interface. Come out from the interface for the server. Don't close the server, just go to the router. Then you type NTP server. Then you type the NTP server IP what? Address. And you know it's 192.168.10.20 what? 1. So 192.168.10.201. Enter. Do the same thing to the rest of the routers, okay? Because all of them will be receiving the message. So you go to router 2, then do the same thing. Yeah, the NTP server IP. One nine two dot one six eight dot ten dot 201. We are set now. Now go to the privilege. Go to the privilege, type exit and type show NTP status. NTP status. Type show NTP status to verify the client configuration. Okay, you type this one to verify client what? Configuration. Just enter. Show NTP status. I want you to check something. You can see that it said the clock is what? On what? Which means that it cannot what? It can't liaise. It can't communicate. So what we are going to do is that we are going to synchronize the calendar, the time, the date. Okay. So on router 3, don't go anywhere. We are though we have to start from router 1, but we are starting from 3 to 1. And later on, that is back and forth we have to do. So just be on router 3. Yes. Type NTP space then the question tag. Sorry, I'm on the privilege mode. Let's go to config mode. Yes, then you type NTP, then the question tag. I'm on router 3. I'm on router 3. I'm on router 3. So type NTP. We have finished with the server. But you know, now we are going to update. Can you see update there? It said update what? Calendar. Thank you very much. So we are going to update the calendar. Okay. So type the update, then enter. Type the update, then enter. What I'm doing on router 3, the same thing we'll do on the rest of them. Now we have to also deal with authentication key. And the key is the trusted time word source, which is 1. So now let's type the NTP authentication key. And the key is going to be 1. Then the MD5, you type the password P at SSW0RD12. Enter. Now we finish with server, we finish with authentication. Now we are going to deal with what? We finish also with update. Is that not it? Now we are going to deal with trusted key, the key number for trusted time source. Okay. Trusted authentication, trusted key. So let's go on. NTP trusted key is 1. Enter. Trusted key is 1. Yes. We are dealing with what we have here. We have dealt with this one, which is the authentication key 1. Then we deal with the server. Configure NTP server. That is what we did first. Is this one. We did this one first. You know that. 3. What I'm doing on router 3, we will do it on router 2 and router what? 1. We are not on server. Right now, where are you? Where exactly are you? Are you on the router? And why are you asking on server? I haven't been there. Which one? You were asking me that, am I on server? We left server a long time, or? So why you went and visit the server? We only went to the server to enable what? The NTP and the key and the password. We finished. And I said, go to the routers and type the rest of the commands I'm typing. So now we have already finished. We've finished with what? And I said, if you want that one to have collaboration with the server, one type NTP space server, then the server IP address. We did that. Then the second one, I said, type what? Show NTP status. And I told you that the clock is not synchronizing. So what we have to do is that we have to update the clock. We have to update the clock. So we type this one. We type this NTP, we type NTP, question tag. Then we saw all these things over here, these solid things. We saw them there. Then I said, okay, type NTP, update what? Calendar. Is that not it? NTP, update calendar. Then I said, okay, what I'm doing on router 3, do the same thing on router 2 and router what? 1. But I'm on router 3, so we'll be doing the same thing on router 2 and router 1. Right now I'm on router 3. Or all of you, which router are you? We are on router 3. That's it. Yes. Which is this one, Aziz? Which is this one? Yeah, we enter, you finish. Then NTP authentication key, this one, you type this. You type this one. Are you okay? Which one? Which one? He's talking about the OSP of authentication. IPOSPF, pesticide. Yes, the same. After you have finished with the key, now you have to type what? NTP trusted key, which means that the key is one. So you are trusting the key, which we have already finished with. Calendar. Configure NTP to update calendar. And when you check the calendar, we have the calendar on the server. Look at the calendar and look at the time. The time is this, so we have to make sure that we change the time. Okay, the time is 11. 11:20 what? Mine is 11:30. So check yours, and it's not PM. Yes, to AM. Change the time on the server. And because it must work with the routers also time. So we also give that. What we're supposed to do is that we're supposed to give the routers time first so that it can now communicate with what? The router's time that the server's time that we are setting. Yes, but the router's time is different. We will go there. Okay, we'll go there. Uh, yes, I'm using the system time. So if I'm using the system time, then it means that the router's time also have to be the system time. This is the time on the server right now. This is the time on the server right now. What about the router? You don't know the router's time now. So it means that if the server's time is different and the router's time also is different, the, the collaboration will not work. All of them have to be what? They must work on the same what time. That is why we said what NTP trusted what key one, NTP authentication key one, MTP update time. Where you understand? Are you okay now? So since we have set this time and now it's working, let's go to the router. Let's go to router one. Let's go to router one. Then you say clock, then the question tag. Type clock. Okay, for you to understand something, I want you to just type exit, then type show clock. Type show clock. Check whether it's the same date and the time. Is it? Is it the same time? Then we have to use the same time. Do you understand? Because we are in Ghana UTC, Universal Time Clock. Okay, so now go to the config two, then clock, and bring the question tag. You see time zone, then the question tag. It said the word. So the name of we choose what? Ghana. Hours offset from what? UTC. So if you are in different countries, make sure that you choose your country what? Are you following it? So they said from minus 22, 23 to 20 what? 3. So if the minus we are seeing over there is the minus of what the present time we have minus and plus. And it's a hours offset from UTC. So hours offset from UTC is 23. Are you following it? 23. So if 23 hours is what? Check it. We have how many hours in a day? 24. Are you following it? So if you have 24, it said hours offset from what? UTC. So if they said hours offset from UTC, which means universal time clock. So when you put 24 and a question tag, it said no. You put 23 question tag, then it said minutes offset from UTC. So what is our hours set? It's 11. And a minute is going to be what? Now it's 39. They said it's 10. Okay, sorry. So it's 10:39. Then you enter. Yeah? No. The time. We are 11. Uh, what we have done right now, we haven't finished. It's now time for us to make sure that the time stamp, what we just did. Oh, I did earlier. It's still reading. I did 39, but it's still reading. Now I will see it's 40. Aziz, can you hold time? Aziz, can you hold time? Uh-huh. So when you are doing something, make sure that you set time ahead of. If you see time 33, set it 34. Okay? Mhm. Shall we go on now? Now it's time for us. We've set it. The router, the server also, we've set the server's own. Now we have to stamp it with a message so that whenever they are coming, the message are coming, we will know vividly which time the message arrived. Are you following it? Eh, because if your time, if Uber's time and Aziz's time are the same, definitely they will know the time the visitor entered. It's like couples that got married, eh, and from the wedding room, when they were coming, they saw an incoming horse. Oh. And when the horse was coming, galloping, about to hit them, then the groom separates himself from the bride. Then the horse passed through the middle. Then the groom, which is the man, he said, "Hey, what a black horse." Then the wife too said, "Ah, it's not black, oh, what a white horse." Over there, their time didn't tally. Do you understand? This one is saying black, this one is saying what? White. But like if both of them went to the same what position, all of them will say that, hey, what a white horse. Are you getting it? So the router time and the server's time must be on the same what line. Now we've set the clock, oh, Ghana. And Ghana we use it's a universal time clock, UTC. That's why if you go to Accra, we have UTC there. Because we use British time, UTC. At first, you see that there's a long tower. Then you see the clock over there. So anytime you reach Accra, you see that, and it's we were colonized by who? British. Yes, so they have their time there. So we call it a UTC, Universal Time Clock, and we are using the same time with them. Okay, let's go on. So now we are going to set the times stamp. Mm, yes. Bring the question tag. Please, when you go, make sure that you set the rest. What we are doing, set the rest. Set the rest. Look for services. Modify use of network-based service. On configuration mode, the question tag. Yes. Just press the question tag. Okay. So now, can you see services? This is the services. And it said modify use of network-based what? Services. So the services are the messages that they normally comes into our network. They are services, okay? Yes. So we call them what? Message ICMP. When they are coming. Any other protocol do its own word. Let's see service. So type service there. We type service here. Then you bring the question tag again. Now when you bring the question tag, we have time stamps. Time stamps debug, log what? Messages. So now you are telling the router that any service that you perform, depend on the message that comes. Okay, control the message. So any message that comes. So let's go to the time stamp. Then you bring the question tag. You type what? Log. It's log. It's log. Then bring the question tag again. We are going to choose date time. Time stamp with date and time. When did the message arrive? What time did the message arrive? At what time did the message what arrived? The message arrived so 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 and so time this date. And we are telling the router the service that is supposed to what perform. So let's type the dates over there. Then you bring the question tag again. Then it said include milliseconds in time stamp. Even milliseconds, half of seconds. So it's like you are triggering the router. You are triggering it that if you see fee record, tell me. Do you understand? So MS, then you enter. We haven't finished. We are still continuing. Now we've set the time stamp. Remain the login message. The login. Login. So which one are you going to log in? And we have the syslog. So this guy too have to make sure that he reports the login. This one is the time, and this one is the login. So hey, what time did the person what? What time? The server will be asking. And what message did the person log inside the system successful, failure, and success? So let's go straight to the log server. Double click on it. Double click on it. Go to services. Then you see Syslog. You see Syslog is there. Click on Syslog. That one too is already what? On. It's already on. So since it's already on, what we have to do is that we have to tell the router that now listen to the log messages. So we will come here, then you'll be seeing the log messages and the time, the server will be giving the time that you log in, the time you log out, you'll be seeing it. Okay, so he said this one is a trading. So let's go back to what we did on router one. You know, we've not done router 2 and 3. So I'll be giving it to you guys to go and do it. Tomorrow, God willing, we come back. Then we continue. We check. I'll check and continue. That is the assignment. So let's go to the router one and configure the rest of the configurations. Okay. So we are now going to configure the timestamps, the login, the login. Yes. So let's type login, 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 and bring the question tag. Then you see host. It said, look at the host. It said set Syslog server IP address and parameter. So the only thing that you have to do is that the login, the Syslog server, we are going to type the Syslog server IP address what here. So who can tell me the Syslog IP address? It's 192.168.10. Thank you very much, Kelly. Then 202. Simple. You enter. So now there is a collaboration between what? The Syslog and the NTP server and the router. Wow. Yes. Is it? The Syslog. Is system login. System login. Let me just show you a brief configuration. Look at something. When you press Windows R, and okay, let me just go straight to, and you type gp edit.msc and you enter like this. Are you following? I just want to show you that thing. And when it comes like this, you go to Windows settings. This one I taught you on Win server. Hmm. You go to Windows, then you go to security settings. On security settings, you go to account policy. We have local policy over here. Go to click on local policy and choose audit what? Policy. So when you click on audit policy, look for audit logon what? Have you seen logon is here? Audit logon event. Now when you double click on it, it says success and what? Failure. So if you click on this, it should record anytime you log inside your system and the password that you type is correct, it will write success. If the password that you type is not correct, it will write failure. So if somebody is coming, you will know who is trying to enter into your network. But they will not see the person. It's just a trigger you are putting down. Okay. So now as you have set this one down, you apply and you click OK. You haven't finished. Now it's time for you to right click on start and you go straight to event viewer. Is it event viewer? We have event viewer here. You click on event viewer. And after clicking on event viewer, we have Windows log. You click on Windows log like this because it said Windows what? Log. So when you click on Windows log, you said system. Now we have security. It's reading. It's still reading. It's still reading. So everything that I've entered, everything that I've entered, that is here. It said warning, 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 which means that there is an exclamation sign that I have to obey and listen to it. So I come to security. The security is information, information, information. So if right now, look at the top, let me go to the last one, the first one. I'm going to the first one. I'm clicking. Have you seen the first one? This is the first one. Okay, this is the first one. Now, let me log out. Press on Windows L. So I've logged out. If I tried my best to log in with different password and they say password is what? Incorrect. Now, if I enter the correct password, one has failed, one is success. So I'll come and refresh it. When you restart the machine and you come, you will see the failure and what? The success there. Okay. Okay. So you will see the inside the security. You will see it among this one. Everything that you did, you will see information. You will see it. So when you click on it, you will see the information. The main reason why what is happening over there, you will see. But you have the system, the login. So Windows login, application login. You have you seen? So you see the errors that you are seeing over here. Those errors, you just pick one, then you know what went on. You will see them. That is the event that normal. But if I restart the machine, I will see the first one that I did, the warning that I did, targeting, which means that I did something that is not correct. This is the client PID. Eh, Okay, that's bring the curtains for today. Thank you very much for another day. We'll continue tomorrow. Don't forget to share and also subscribe. It's good. That will make the class so powerful. I love it. I hope you have you have a good, fruitful class. I hope everything was okay. Don't forget what we did. Go and configure the same thing to the rest of the routers. And tomorrow we'll meet and continue. Thank you very much. Bye bye.